Hi everyone. Hello. So today on YouTube Live, I have this live chat. If you have anything that you want to ask me, you can just key in and type in the chat, and I'll try to reply. I'll try. Hi, I'm also on Facebook Live. So today I'll be sharing, as a part of my series, it's called Living the NHR series. And today's topic would be on what I learned about homosexuality. So before I share the topic, I just want to give an overview, a background, and context about how this series started. I should say that COVID-19 really triggered and provoked this series to come into being, because with COVID-19, number one, that is the time that we have at home, right? We spend so much time at home because of safe or social distancing, and because COVID-19 really forced us to ponder about our lives. Aside from the fact that we have got so much time, the fact that COVID-19, this virus has affected and infected so many lives. Especially for me, I feel that COVID-19 really forced me or enabled me to think about my life. In a sense, what are my goals? What's important to me at the end of the day? What do I want to do with my life? What's my mission? What's my purpose? Is it just about work? Is it just about money? So COVID-19 really sparked and triggered the burgeoning of this NHR series. But today's topic is actually triggered by yet another thing. So as many of you might have known, I shared my personal story 1 week ago or several weeks ago. I shared about my Buddhist practice. So I practice Nichiren Buddhism with the SGI. It stands for Soka Gakkai International. And I shared about how my Buddhist faith, my Buddhist practice has empowered me, really, how it has transformed my life from within, how I was able to reconcile so many questions that I had about my life, how I was able to reconcile the pain and the hurt that I went through, and how I came out to my family and friends, but quite essentially about how I came to love myself unconditionally, because I realized that I have to love myself unconditionally to come out. If I did not love myself unconditionally, I would not have been able to come out to anyone. Yeah. And certainly not to the whole wide world watching right now. So when I shared my testimonial, I noticed that while most of the audience, most of the viewers are able to embrace me, there are some whom still have questions, yes, still have doubt. They don't quite understand the topic of homosexuality. And I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. As I shared with my audiences previously, I took about 20 years to accept myself. I took 20 years to accept myself. So I will not expect anyone to accept me in anything less than 20 years or at all, because they are not me. They did not walk in my shoes. But that does not mean that I am going to allow that misconception to perpetuate. So my purpose, I realize, is to use my voice to share, to disabuse the misconceptions, to share from my experience, to share from my life story what I think is correct. What I think. So this is purely, solely, and fully my perception, okay? And this morning, when I woke up, I saw something that I posted on Facebook. I posted this on Facebook 10 years ago, 30th May 2010. It's so appropriate. This will be one of my topics in a few weeks in a few weeks to come. But it's a powerful reminder. I wrote this on my Facebook 10 years ago. I wrote, because I stammer and stutter and mumble, I must use my voice to do the Buddha's work. Such a powerful reminder from 10 years ago. So, all right, with that, I shall kickstart. Today's sharing will be in 2 languages because I'm bilingual. I will be starting with English, and then towards the end, the next part I will share in Mandarin. So let me begin. I guess I should begin with my life story as a homosexual. I must have been about 5 years old, either 5 or 4 years old. I mean, my earliest memory of my attraction to men must have been when I was 4 or 5 years old. That was my earliest memory. I remember I was at home with my grandma, and I was watching this random television show. I don't recall what show that was, but my grandma had wanted to bring me along somewhere, and I remember on the TV screen was, I think, James Bond, and he was naked, half naked, and he was going to take a bath with one of the blonde girl. I can't remember. My eyes were glued to the television screen, and I did not want to leave home. So yeah, I mean, back then, obviously, I did not know what was going on. I was 4 or 5 years old, but I can still remember being glued to the television screen, to James Bond's body. And I remember when I was in kindergarten. Just some vague memories that I just felt drawn to certain classmates of mine, boy classmates, of course, and at the same time, especially when I was in primary school, I noticed that the attraction that I have towards my male classmates was stronger. Of course, I still did not understand. I was just 6 years old, 7 years old, and while I subconsciously was aware, or while I was attracted to boys my age back then, I did not feel very comfortable with them. I did not understand why, and I don't have the words right now as well. But I do remember that I felt more comfortable with girls. I don't know why. I felt more comfortable being around girls because I must have felt safe. Yeah. Probably because I went through some bullying, which I selectively did not want to remember, but that's just my assumption from my experience. And I remember when I was still in primary school, I must have been about 7 or 8 years old. So I went to church. I was raised as a Catholic, so every Sunday I'll go for Bible classes, and I don't remember when that thought started, but I remember thinking, how do I share with my family that I'm gay, or rather that I like boys? Yeah, I mean, back then it was 20 odd years ago. So homosexuality coming out certainly was not the hot topic of the town. But yeah, it's amazing really that the 7-year-old me wanted to come out, wanted to tell my family that I was gay. I don't think I even understood what gay was really. Uh, I'll go into that later on. But I remember thinking, how should I tell my family? Should I tell the priest? Should I go to the confession group and confess to the priest that I'm gay? And then tell him so that he can help me to tell my family. But before that, because to be honest, I did not feel comfortable with the priest, and I did not know how to go about it. So I went to the library. There's this small little library in my church. So I went to the library and I searched for books. I searched for books that might have spoken about homosexuality, about gay. I wanted to know what the church, what the Bible, what the religion taught about homosexuality. Because at the back of my mind, I knew that society was not accepting. I mean, I was 7, 8 years old. But even though I was that young, I already knew that society was not accepting of homosexuality, of a boy liking another boy, or a boy behaving not like the regular boy. And I could not find any answer. And I remember going to confession one of the Sundays. So you would have imagined that scene where you're seated in a room, and then you have this shield between you and the pastor. And I was there seated, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, how do I do I tell the pastor, the priest that I like boys, and hopefully he can help me to tell my family that I like boys. And I remember not being able to tell him, not feeling comfortable to tell him, not being ready to tell him. Yeah, so that was that episode. So I've always been attracted to boys, to men. I've always knew that I like boys. I've always wanted to come out, or rather to tell my family that I like boys. I don't know why. I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask me when I was 7 years old, but now I'm not 7 years old anymore. I can tell you why. Yeah. And when I was 20 years old, that was when I came out to my family and friends. And what sparked that episode, what sparked that momentous history in my life was my sister. So I have one elder sister, and we were never close. Growing up, because of my background, my parents were divorced. I was raised by my late grandparents. Growing up, somehow my sister and I, we were always constantly at loggerheads. We would argue, we would fight. We just do not talk. We just do not communicate. I do not know her. We just do not talk. In fact, growing up, she was always closer to her friends. And I was closer to my toys, my Barbie dolls. Oh, by the way, did you know that I played Barbie dolls growing up? To my Power Rangers, I love playing Power Rangers. Like, oh, let them fight. So I was closer to my toys. I would talk to my toys. And I would not talk to anyone at home, really. Flash forward to when I was 20 years old. One night, because we would usually visit my mom at her house, maybe twice a year, or maybe 3-4 times a year, but usually at least twice a year. So that was one of the times when we spent at my mom's house that year, and we were both sleeping in the living room that night on a mattress, and my sister, out of a sudden, asked me a question. She asked me, what is homosexuality? What is bisexuality? And I didn't understand why she asked that question, because we have never spoken, right? We do not talk. So for her to ask me a question and to ask me such a personal question was shocking. I was thinking, did she know that I was gay? Did she want to confront me? Did she want to talk about me being gay? That was the thought in my head back then. And then she shared that, you know, so my sister, to give more context, my sister was dating, I guess, several boys. And at that point in time, she was dating a boy for a couple of years. And I knew that boy because that boy was from her secondary school and he came over a couple of times. He seemed like an okay boy, introverted, passive aggressive boy, and he shared and she shared that they broke up recently, and she shared with me why they broke up. She shared that he hit her, or yeah, he hit her, and I remember feeling so painful for my sister. I mean, how dare someone hit my sister, right? What the fuck? And I mean, I was not close to my sister, but even then, as a brother, no matter how distant you are as a sibling, you would not allow anyone in the world to lay a finger on your sister. Not then and not now. So she shared that when he hit her, it reminded her of my dad hitting my mom, because my sister was able to recall memories when my dad used to hit my mom, and it really traumatized her, and that hit really brought home the memories she had, the trauma, and she really did not want to be in that predicament that my mom was in. Grateful. And so she said that that must have been not the first time. I think that was at least the second time that he wanted to hit her, or that he hit her. And so that was the end, the last straw. She ended the abusive relationship. She did not want it to be abusive, so she ended it. And she shared that maybe because of that episode of being abused by a boyfriend, she never knew, she never believed that she would be in such a situation, because I recall she was sharing that she used to wonder, why did mommy decide to marry a man that abused her? Why did she allow herself to stay in that relationship where she was physically, violently abused? So she did not understand, and she never thought that she would meet a boy like that man. And she never knew that the boy she was dating for so many years actually turned out to be that man that she did not want. So she went through a period of trauma, really, a period of pain, and she started to be more boyish. She started wearing cowboy shirts. She started having very short hair. She started to be more boyish in appearance. And I guess in hindsight, I mean, this is just my interpretation. I feel that she must have been doing all that to reconcile with the trauma that she was experiencing, the trauma of being offended, of being being hurt by a boy. So it was an expression of her life, trying to be stronger to protect herself. So it began outwardly. The protection began outwardly. So in her dressing, and she shared that recently she met a girl. I mean, she said that this girl was unlike any other girls that she has met before. That this girl, she felt she loved this girl, and she said that she has loved a girl before. One of her best friends. She she had this best friend that she just loved. She couldn't explain why, but she just loved her best friend. So she has got a few girlfriends, and this particular girlfriend, she just loved her so much. But she shared that this time, this girl that she met, she not only loved her, it's a different kind of love. It's not just the kind of love you have for a girlfriend, as in your best friend, because this girl she met just for a couple of months, but she felt the same kind of attraction. She found her pretty, she loved her, she cared for her. And so she asked me, what does it mean to be homosexual, to be bisexual? So I shared with her. I shared that homosexuality or bisexuality is a sexual preference, it's a sexual orientation. So why did I emphasize the word sex? Because it really is about sex. Of course, there are people who are not do not like sex. I forgot the term for that. But as a homosexual, as a bisexual, what it really means is that you are sexually attracted to that boy or that girl. So I am sexually attracted to boys, to men. To put it very crudely, so if you are under 18 years old, you may want to seek parental guidance for this, but as a man, you want to fuck that man, or as a girl, you want to fuck that girl. Yeah, it's as crude as that. So I asked her, do you want to fuck her? Do you want to have sex with her? She said, no, no, no. I said, okay, then you're not gay. You're not, no, you're not gay. I was very clear. She wasn't clear, but I was very clear that she is not gay. She was just confused. Yeah, she was just confused. And she did went on that confusion for quite a number of months, and she had to go through her journey. I understood for her what she was going through, but it's not up to me to expedite her growth. It's not up to me to decide for her that, okay, snap out, you are not gay, move on. No, she had to go through her process. She had to go through her confusion. She had to grow out of it herself, on her own, in her own time and space. So, why did I share this? I share this because I noticed how powerful my life is. Why? Because, again, flash forward, step forward, my sister has met a man, a man that she has married, a man that she has 2 kids with right now. So she's married. She is straight. She is heterosexual, not gay, not bi. She is straight, heterosexual. So she's a mom of 2 kids. 2 lovely kids. I love them. I love my niece and nephew. I love them so much. Anyway, I remember asking her, why did you want to marry my brother-in-law? She said, because he makes her life full circle. Wow, that is so powerful. My sister was never really a philosophical person. She doesn't use flowery words, poetry words. She does not do that. That's just not her. Or that wasn't her. And to hear her use such a poetry way to say that he made her life full circle, that was enough for me to understand why she chose him. And she shared that if not for him, she would not marry anyone else. So why did I say that I feel my life is so powerful? Because in hindsight, if my sister did not go through that phase, where she was confused about her sexual orientation, it would not have sparked that courage in me to come out. To continue my story, so she shared that, she was confused even after I shared with her my my explanation of what homosexual or homosexuality is. She was still confused. And she shared that she actually told my mom that what if she is bisexual. And I was so curious. I was so curious to hear what my mom has to say about her being lesbian. And my mom said the most beautiful thing. My mom said, as long as you are happy. Ah, I never expected my mom to be so liberal. My mom is really Asian. My mom is really traditional. Well, not the most traditional. My mom smoked cigarette. My mom has tattoo on her body, but her tattoo aside, her smoking aside, she's really the typical Singaporean Asian mom, like conservative. At least that was what I thought. But at the heart of it, she really loved us because she must have understood what my sister was going through. So she said the most loving thing. She shared, yeah, that as long as you are happy. Yeah, so loving. So to all parents who are watching this, or if you have parents, or okay, what am I saying? Yeah, please help to share this video. Please help to share this concept, this understanding with the parents around you, with the adults around you. It's so important, really, that parents support their child, that parents love their child. It's so important. You have no idea how much that acceptance meant to my sister. Yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, wow, amazing. I was thinking, the window is here. The opportunity is here. I must come out to my mom. The time has arrived. And okay, I'm gonna backtrack, so you guys just follow me, okay? I trust you that you are able to follow me. So before that incident, in fact, couple of months before the incident, I have already started chanting. I've already started chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. I've already started practicing Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism with the NHR. So I remember somehow, I couldn't explain to you why, but somehow, I think it was, no, whatever. So as I started chanting, I just have this sudden desire to come out. I remember when I started chanting, the desire to want to come out surfaced again. I mean, as I shared with you earlier, when I was 7 years old, I wanted to come out, but ever since then, the thought never surfaced again. I never, or rather, I don't remember wanting to come out ever since I was 7 years old ever again. I guess because as I grew older, as I was exposed to more harsh realities around me, the more I felt uncomfortable, the more I was afraid, the more I felt stifled, the more I felt, yeah, the more I felt oppressed, ostracized. So ever since I was 7 years old, I never had that thought to want to come out ever again. Not until I was 20 years old, not until I started chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo again. And I just started having this thought, I want to come out. If Nam-myoho Renge Kyo is so powerful, if this Buddhist practice is so powerful, then let me come out. Let me fulfill my deepest wish. And that prayer just came into my mind, and I started chanting about it. consciously and subconsciously, and I was chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo every single day for 2 hours, for 3 hours, for 4 hours, and that night happened. That night when my sister came out to me happened. It happened after I chanted about wanting to come out, and I was thinking, wow, this is amazing. I mean, I did not tell anyone what my prayer was. That's really amazing. It's really mystical that my sister that episode happened. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity that I prayed for, that I chanted for. So the next day, I came out to my mom. I told her, I said, "Mommy, Angela." I said, my sister told you that she might have been confused, that she might like girls, and you said that you're okay. And then I told her, "Mommy, I'm gay. I like boys." And there was silence. And then I propped her again. I said, "So, mommy, how? What do you think?" And he said, um, "I know." She said, "I know." And I was like, "What do you mean you know?" She said, "How, or rather, how do you know?" She said, "Because I am your mom." That is, again, powerful. I mean, I even though my mom accepted my sister, but that was because she was confused. Maybe my mom knew that my sister is not truly really lesbian. Maybe my mom knew that she was just going through a phase of confusion. Maybe, but I truly am gay. I am not. I was not going through a phase of confusion. No, 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 for goodness sake, ever since I was 4 years old, no, yeah. So, to hear my mom say that she knew, wow, never could expect that immediate acceptance and love and support from my mom. Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame that as a human being, a child would feel amazed that his or her parent accept him or her for who he or she is? Shouldn't it be that case? Shouldn't it be the ideal world that every parent accept the child for who he or she is? But that is just the harsh reality of life, right? That yeah, doesn't matter if you are family, doesn't matter if you are parents, siblings, children, uh, they may not accept you for who you are. Yeah, and I'm sure I'm not alone. So to all of you watching, I'm pretty sure that in your own way, you must have also been able to you must have been able to relate to this point. So therefore, it really brings me back to one point, that it's so important to love yourself unconditionally. It's so important to love yourself. And it's so important to learn. You have to learn to love yourself. If you are fortunate, if you are lucky, if you are blessed, you grew up in a family, you grew up in an environment where you are nurtured. You are nurtured by your family to love yourself, because they love you so much and they demonstrate to you what self-love is through their example. You are inculcated with self-love, this concept, this notion of self-love. But I believe for many of us, this notion, this concept of self-love is foreign, is alien. Like, what is self-love? What hocus pocus is that self-love? No. Self-love is very important. if you do not love yourself, you are in dipshit. Because you really cannot expect anyone in this world to love you more than you love yourself. Full stop. You cannot expect your husband, your wife, your kids, your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, anyone in the world really, you cannot expect. The keyword is expect. You cannot expect anyone to love you more than you love yourself. Of course, there are many people who love you, and at times, when you feel so lousy, you feel so useless, you realize that, oh, my so and so love me more than I love myself, because at times when I doubt myself, they love me, they support me, they believe in me. But it's really important to love yourself. Yeah. So a key concept about homosexual, or rather a key lesson that I learned about me being a homosexual is really the lesson of self-love. And even though my prayer was to come out, my daimoku, my chanting, what my chanting did for me was really to love myself. Subconsciously, I learned to love myself. So a part of loving myself is to accept myself. So I shared with you that I took 20 years to accept myself for who I am, that I'm homosexual, this and that. So yeah, the power of self-love is really immense. And my journey as a homosexual has taught me many other things. So I'm gonna share with you. One thing is actually this question: if I become gay, and if society allow me to be gay, then there'll be more and more people becoming gay. I'm sure some of you have heard this before, and this argument has been used several times in different countries and culture whenever someone wants to oppose LGBT homosexuality. That would be the argument that if the law, if society condones or accepts homosexuality, then it will promote homosexuality. Then more and more people will become homosexual, become gay. Then what would happen to society? Number one, what a stupid question. What a stupid argument that is. It's like saying if we allow someone to become a doctor, or if we allow someone to become an engineer, then it will promote and encourage engineers, then the whole world will become engineers. And if the whole world are engineers, then who's gonna be the cleaner? Who's gonna be the admin? Who's gonna be this and that? Really? Is that how the world works? Does the world work so microscopically? Like just because one person do that, then the whole entire world, like the whole entire 7 billion people will follow that one person? Really? No, right? The world is so diverse. And just because someone is an engineer, no matter how inspiring that engineer is, no, the whole 7 billion people will not follow this one engineer. Of course, there will be many engineers who will be inspired by this engineer and eventually become an engineer. But you must understand that in the first place, this engineer only served as a spark to inspire the other engineers. If you really look in the lives of these other engineers, in their lives, deep in their lives, they already wanted to be an engineer in one way or another. This inspirational story basically elevated, brought forth, surfaced that even more. So this engineer did not convert them to become engineers, but rather this engineer inspired and enabled, expedited the their becoming to an engineer. Because there are so many others who, while being inspired by this engineer, it's just not in their DNA to become an engineer. They just did not want to be or didn't become an engineer. They became someone else. So just because society, just because law and regulations condone, accept, allow homosexual, no, it will not perpetuate. It will not encourage. It will not promote or version or spread homosexuality. Yeah, that's not how homosexuality works. Give you one more example. There are so many inspiring heterosexual. There are so many amazing. I mean, the whole world operates based on heterosexuality, but it's so sad. But as inspired as I am, as inspired as many of us are, we just can't force ourselves to become straight. We just can't force ourselves to become heterosexual. Yeah, it's just not how it works. So, okay, so the first misconception is that just because the law and regulation, just because society condone gay or homosexuality, it would not promote, it would not propagate or perpetuate homosexuality. You are who you are, full stop. And so the second notion is this misconception that, it's part two, if the whole becomes gay, then who, or rather, if you allow gay, then who will give birth? Who will continue the lifeline of humanity? Who will continue Kosen Rufu? That's what some people ask. Who will continue Kosen Rufu if we allow gay? So this is actually a very interesting question, because we have to understand that while it is a natural biological process for human beings to reproduce, have sex, have kids, it is in nature. In nature, homosexuality is in nature. You will find it in animals. You will find it in human beings. It's really a natural phenomena. I used to think about the concept of nature and nurture. Whether was I nurtured to be a gay, or was I naturally a gay? Nature, nurture. And while there are many reasons to believe that it's nurture, maybe it's nature, I realized that it's really a chicken and an egg thing. 纠缠不了. You can argue until the cow comes home, but you will never be able to reach a satisfying conclusion. So it's pointless to debate over nature, nurture. The way that I see it, it is your nature. You are who you are. If you are born to be an engineer, you will become an engineer. And the nurture part is where, family, friends, education, inspiration nurtured you to become an engineer. But as I said, if your nature is not an engineer, no matter how your family, no matter how society, no matter how inspiring engineering is, you will not become an engineer, because that is not how our society functions. Our society functions to nurture heterosexuality. Does that make sense? Our society functions to promote family, promote that, it's time for you to get married, it's time for you to have kids. That is the way that society functions. And so I'm not surprised when people ask me, like, either you are gay, then how, the lifeline, who's going to continue the lifeline, who's going to give birth, who's going to continue humanity? But the fact, the question is really stemmed from a deep misconception. Okay, one way of looking at it is, number one, there are so many straight people who have sex, who have irresponsible sex, and in the end they abort their unwanted children. There are so many irresponsible straight people who have sex and they give birth to kids and give them horrible upbringing. There are so many straight people who give birth and do horrible things to the world, and these kids that they gave birth to wished that their parents did not give birth to them. So if you think that giving birth is the silver bullet, please grow up. If you think that giving birth is the most important thing, please grow up. Please think more deeply. Giving birth is wonderful, but it does not mean that everyone and anyone should just go around giving birth. Next thing is, what about those who are infertile? This could be a sensitive topic to those who are experiencing it with their life, but the fact is that it's very painful for someone who wants to have children and not be able to have children. It's not their fault that their nature, their DNA does not enable that. So this question about how do we continue our lifeline, how do we perpetuate humanity, this question is so hurtful if you are to pose it to them. How can you ask such a question? How can you hurt someone with a question? So not everyone can give birth. Not everyone should give birth. Giving birth is an option. It's a beautiful option. I love my nephew and my niece. Giving birth is a beautiful, a wonderful thing. But as wonderful, as beautiful as giving birth is, it should not be forced upon everyone. Just because a girl is, let's say, 12 years old, and naturally, biologically, she is able to reproduce, does not mean that she should have sex and become a mother and produce a baby. No, just because she can does not mean she should. Does this bring it to you clearer? That just because I am a man, I have functional sexual organs, I'm fertile, does not mean that I must go around fucking a girl to give birth to a child for the sake of continuation of lifeline. Because there are so many more factors to consider before you give birth. Number one, are you able to provide for the child financially? Are you able to provide a family for the child? So number one, I'm gay. I love men. If I have sex with a girl just to have children, then what's gonna happen to this child? So to any of you who may have this misconception, please, I hope that my sharing would help you understand a bit more that this argument that homosexuality will discontinue the lifeline of humanity is an erroneous argument. There's so much fallacy in your argument. So wrong. Please don't use the lifeline of humanity in your argument against anything. It's so hurtful and it just shows how stupid you are, really. Because trust me, there are people who could not find love. There are straight people with functional biological bodies who just could not find the other half. They could not find love. And they may spend the whole life alone. They may die alone with no one whom, I mean, I'm sure they would love to find Mr. or Miss partner to share their life with, but somehow they couldn't find that someone. So please do not ask such questions that will really hurt so many people. You are lucky that you are born straight, that you have a family, but do not go around using your life to to hurt other people who are not as lucky as you are. Okay, so next question. Why did I choose to be gay? Great question. Well, why don't you ask me, why don't I choose to be straight? Or rather, why did you choose to be straight? Can I ask you a question? So when did you decide to be straight? How old were you when you first noticed that you like that boy or that girl? When? And when did you decide that you want to be straight and not be gay? When? Why? Why do you want to be straight? Is that a question? Did anyone ask you this question? Well, I'm sure no, but I mean, I'm probably one of the first to ask you this question. But really, what? Oh no, I'm so emotional. Okay, okay, my bad. My phone just dropped. Okay, great, we are fine now. So why did I choose to be gay? It's not a choice. It's not a choice. Yeah, as I said, it is part of me. It is my nature. But what I can say is this: my choice. My choice is to live my life true to myself. Now that's my choice. That's the only choice I made, and that's the only choice that I could make. And the reason why I want to share my story with the whole wide world is because everyone has a choice. Or rather, some people have many choices. They are bisexual. So they can choose to either love men or love women. They can choose, really. There really are such people who are bisexual. You may not understand, but there are. You don't have to understand everything, but you just have to accept and love people for who they are. Respect the person for who they are. Respect. So my only decision, my only choice was to not be ashamed. To not be ashamed of who I am. To not be ashamed that I like men. Yeah, it's quite funny, right? I mean, have you ever felt ashamed of liking someone? Have you ever? Have you ever felt ashamed of liking someone? It's a great question, isn't it? But as homosexuals, yeah, a lot of times we feel ashamed to like someone, to love someone. The shame is really on society. The shame is really on the culture that society allow to perpetuate. So here I am, in my way to disabuse this misconception. So my choice to be a gay is not that I could like girls and I choose not to like girls. It's not in me. I am not sexually attracted to girls at all. And this brings me to our next point that I'll share later on. But yeah, in my entire being, just as you, the straight audience watching, if you're a straight boy, you naturally are aroused when you see a girl. If you are a straight girl, you are naturally attracted to a man. I am naturally attracted to a man as well. So that is just who I am, and my choice is I have this choice only because of society, because the two choices are: number one, to deny myself, to live in denial, to live in shame, to live my life in the closet, or to come out of the closet because I have beautiful clothes to show you. Just kidding. To live my life proudly and fully as I am. This is my choice: to live in shame, in denial, or to live proudly and to live happily. So I choose this. I choose to live happily, strongly, courageously. That is my choice. So don't ask me why I choose to be gay. Ask me. Don't ask me that question. Yeah. But great question, because all the questions show me and demonstrate to me your misconceptions about life. Okay. So earlier I was saying about me not liking girls. So when I was in primary school, secondary school, I tried liking girls actually. I remember in primary school, there's this particular classmate. She's very nice. She's a nice girl, and she smells very nice. I like girls who smells nice, and I just like being her friend. And mm, and the young me, I mean, I was maybe 9, 10 years old. So to be honest, um, I'm not proud of this because I was 9 years old, but I already knew how to lie. I already knew how to deceive myself. So I pretended to like her more than I did. What do I mean? So I like her. I really like her as a friend. She's a nice friend, but because I don't know why, but I just have this phase of denial where I thought, wow, my friends are going through like they're like dating, like a boyfriend, girlfriend. They have, maybe I should have a girlfriend too. So I wanted to date her, not because I truly really love her. I mean, I like her as a friend, but I knew that in my deepest being, that's not what I really, really wanted. But I just did it anyway. So that really caused us to be uncomfortable. We did not get together. But yeah, my point is I have tried. And it just did not resonate well. It's just so awkward and weird. It's as good as telling you, if you're a straight boy, especially, go and date a boy and tell me what it's like. Yeah. So it's really the same. Um, so I remember, I mean, not just once, but a couple of times. Once when I was in primary school, not once actually, must have at least twice. Yeah, at least twice in primary school. At least 2, 3 times in secondary school. So I kept trying. I kept trying in primary school. I kept trying in secondary school because If I really have a choice, my choice is to be straight. It's a shame, really, but if I have a choice, my choice is to be straight. What a shame. I'm so glad that I couldn't choose, because I'll share this later on. But if I'm so glad that I can't choose. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Goodness no. Yeah. So I tried. I tried so many times in my life to choose to be straight, but I just can't. It just isn't in me. So yeah. When I started chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, when I studied the philosophies of Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism, that is the most empowering thing that happened to me. To all of you watching, you may be from a different religion, but if any of you want to feel empowered, if any of you watching, it really doesn't matter what you're going through. You may not go through this homosexuality thing, but you will go through your own fair share of struggles. But trust me, every single individual, every single human being deserves to be empowered. And Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism has empowered me to live my life courageously, to live my life fully. And I really want to share with you that, it can also enable you to live your life fully. It can also empower you to live your life strongly. So my Buddhist practice has really empowered me to realize that I don't have to pretend to be someone else that I'm not. I really do not have to pretend and deny myself. In Buddhism, we have this concept: the cherry, the plum, the peach, and the damson. Yin Mei Tao Li. So what this concept is that a cherry is a cherry. The cherry should not say, "Oh, I don't want to be a cherry. I want to be a plum." So the cherry, the plum, the peach, the damson, they all have their unique mission, their unique purpose on this earth. I have my unique mission and purpose on this earth. So do you. So live your life. I will live my life. Let's live our life strongly, courageously, powerfully. And Buddhism is for that purpose. Buddhism exists to empower us to live our life to the fullest of our potential. Buddhism does not attempt to dictate what is right or wrong for you. Buddhism does not attempt to tell you what to do. Buddhism empowers you to make the decision for your life. Buddhism trusts you to know what is best for your life. To give you an example, there's one guidance that I read recently about divorce. So in Buddhism, there's no such thing as you cannot divorce or you should divorce. No one in Buddhism or the SGI will tell you, hey, you should divorce your husband because he did. Hey, you should divorce your wife because did. No one will say, hey, you should not divorce your husband because or hey, you should not divorce your wife because no. In the SGI, in Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism, we do not tell you what to do. You can choose to divorce or choose not to divorce. You can choose to marry or not to marry. You can choose to give birth or not to give birth. You can choose to go for the abortion or you can choose not to go for the abortion. Buddhism does not tell you what to do because you have to live your own life. And you would know what is the best way forward for yourself. No one else can tell you what to do. So Buddhism, what it does is that it gives you the power, it empowers you with the wisdom, the courage, the compassion, the life condition to make your own life decision. If anything that Buddhism tells you what to do is this thing, to respect life. Buddhism tells you to respect life. Now, this is really a simple thesis of argument, really. Thesis of Buddhism, really. That the central, the core thesis of Buddhism is the respect for the dignity of life. And life not just as in human beings, not just as in white or black or Asian, not as in gay or straight, but life as in life, animal life. Life, the life of this universe, climate change. Okay, I'm veering off course to a very profound topic. So I will not sidetrack. So yes, I have tried to choose to be straight, but Buddhism empowered me to choose who I truly want to be. Yeah, who I truly am supposed to be. So yes, I guess I have come to the end of my sharing. Do any of you have any questions? There's a live chat, but I don't think anyone is sharing anything. Do any of you have questions about homosexuality? Maybe you don't understand, or maybe your family or friends. If you have any questions, to be honest, if you send me a text later on, I will not reply you because this video is 1 hour long. It would not justify, I would not be able to give you a proper explanation through text. Even through this 1 hour sharing, I can only hope and try to share with you the best that I could. But I'm pretty sure that some of you watching may still have your doubts about or may not understand homosexuality. So it's even worse through text. So no, I will not reply a question through text. If we ever have the opportunity, I'll have a dialogue with you. But yeah, I've come to the end of my sharing, and I hope that my sharing have given you a perspective of what homosexuality is. And I really hope that if you are gay, if you are lesbian, if you are bisexual, if you are watching this video, if you're transgender, whatever it is, LGBTQI, even I'm confused. If you are going through similar, if you're going through a similar journey as I am, I want to empower you. Yeah. Chant Namyoho Renge Kyo. Go and Google SGI, and learn more about Nichiren Buddhism. It will empower you. I trust that it will empower you to live your life courageously, to live your life powerfully. I'm so happy to encounter Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism. I'm so happy that I'm gay actually, because I shared before, voluntarily assuming one's appropriate karma. In hindsight, really, I must have made a vow countless lifetimes ago. I must have vowed to be reborn as a human being, to be reborn as a gay, to demonstrate the power of Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism with my life as a gay. So, yeah, this is my life mission, really, my life's purpose. And while it might be encouraging and inspiring for you watching, but I don't just want to inspire you. I don't want to just encourage you. Because if there's anything that I learned in my life, encouragement, inspiration is like an injection. It may give you a temporary high, it may give you a temporary remedy, but it's not enough. You need to be empowered. Yeah. In society, the reason why education is so valued by people from different culture, different religion, different um, creed is because education really functions to empower people. That's the function of education. Education empowers. But education empowers, sadly, nowadays, education empowers a person intellectually. And as we are aware, there are many dark sides of education, of intellect, especially when you are educated, especially when you are intellectual, but you lack the humanity, you lack the compassion. That's when you use your intellect, you use your education to bully other people. You use your intellect, you use your education to deprive another human being. You use your education and intellect to deny another human being. So that is the dark side of education. So what we really need is not just education. We need education. Don't get me wrong. We need education, but we need empowerment even more. We need humanistic education. All right. So I really want to empower you, and the best empowerment, really, the best tool, even more powerful than education, is Nichiren Buddhism. Try chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. It will change your life if you are looking to change and transform your life. And what else did I want to say before I conclude the video? For those of you watching who are strict, which is 9 out of 10 of you who are strict and watching, you may wonder how would this relate to you. That is actually quite a shallow question, because the fact is that you don't have to be gay to apply what I shared with you, because what I'm sharing with you is really universal. It is about respect. If you are watching from Asia, in Singapore, you may not understand this, but if you're watching in the USA, in the western part of the world, you will understand about racism. You will understand about people being discriminated by who they were really born to be. They were born black, they were born Asian, they were born Mexican, they were born Hispanic, they were born mixed, and they were discriminated for who they were born as. And because it's on their skin, right? They're born black, they can't hide it. No matter, there's no way you can hide that you're black. There's no way you can hide that you're Asian. You know, there are many people who are born as they are, especially that ethnicity, and they are discriminated. Yeah, it may seem like a history. I mean, we've all learned about historical discrimination, apartheid, for example, in Africa, or in the USA when the black used to be discriminated. But trust me, please do not be shallow. Discrimination happens till today. It might not be the next big story, but discrimination exists in the world, not just for LGBT, not just for people who are gay, but people who are ethnic. And trust me, that I'm sure there are many more discrimination in the world. Discrimination comes in different shapes and sizes. Um, and you, even though you're straight, I'm pretty sure that you can relate to some discrimination on your own. If you're a girl, um, feminism, right? Being discriminated at work, being discriminated by society. As a man, being discriminated in the sense that you are supposed to behave a certain way, you are supposed to do certain things. You are supposed to be strong. You cannot cry. You cannot be vulnerable. You cannot show the vulnerable, fabulous side of you. You cannot wear pink. You cannot have a fanciful bag. Stereotypes, discrimination. Everything boils down to respect. If you are able to respect a human being, it does not matter how different they are from you, you will learn to respect them. And how do you learn to respect someone? It's not an intellectual process. Respect starts from you. You have to learn to respect yourself before you can respect any other person in the world. You have to learn to love yourself in order to respect yourself. So again, I bring you back to the thesis that I started this session with. Self-love. You really have to learn to love yourself. Learn to love yourself so much that you can learn to respect yourself, and you can learn to love and respect the people around you, your family, your parents, your spouse, your kids, your friends, anyone around you. So thank you for watching. Let me just scroll through. There's one question though, but I don't quite understand. Okay. I have come to the end of my sharing. I hope that my sharing has empowered you. I'll be doing another sharing next week. I'll be sharing on suicide. Yes. So join me next week if you are available. I will share the date and time again. So thanks for watching and goodbye. Goodbye.